Today, we're addressing some thoughts by George Blackman. He is a writing teacher. You might know him online. He teaches the YouTubers writing circle. And man, that's been a huge thing. But we're talking about AI. The main things that he was bringing up is, the things he's working on are so high level, it's pretty interesting. He comes from more of an art background. Well, not more of, entirely an art background, but he has some pretty good thoughts on AI about combining both sides. He's putting together a lot of AI tools, and he's even building UIs and, vibe coding right now. So this is a pretty good topic to get into. Now, what he actually is bringing out is how is it going to affect him how much AI is flattening the difference between different people's skills. We're seeing that for him, the worthlessness it's making software is making it easy for him to bring that in and start building software to complement what he's already doing. It's an opportunity that didn't exist before. So what can you do with that? What other options should you look into that? And then finally, the opposite of that is it's not just flattening my industry into his, it's flattening his industry into everyone else's. So he's concerned about, how do you stop just somebody with a laptop completely eating his business? And that's a fear I never really thought that deeply about. That's got to be pretty scary. He's completely on his own. He's responsible for everything he's doing because he's a solo entrepreneur. I actually want to mention, though, this is pretty similar to all of that because the ladder is getting pulled up. A lot of the solutions he seems to be suggesting are things that only work because he had a first-timer bias. That, I have an existing audience, and I have some brand recognition, and I built a community. Well, if AI flattens the difference between everybody, what about the next person that comes out? What about me, who's trying to get into this space? And honestly, it sounds like the same answer as software engineering, where it's over. It's just done. Software, we don't hire new engineers. We don't even hire middle-level engineers. So eventually we'll have to figure out what the hell to do because we will need to get new senior engineers when people like me start dying off. But for right now, these are closed industries. There's no becoming an engineer or becoming an online creator, at least according to what we're hearing today. So we'll dive into that during the Q&A. First, I'm going to talk about what's new on my side. I'm going to cover some cultural actions that I've been seeing happening with the effects of AI, and then talk about what I'm building right now. And after we do the QA, I'll talk about what I'm going to build next. So the cultural thoughts, I saw online this guy who he's going to remain nameless, but he's a famous photographer. And he does a lot of really great work. His course was great. He really helped me out a lot. I like the guy, and I like his work. But he lives in Oregon, and being freaked out about what the wrong news network says is very important to him. And there's no escaping that part of him. So he is having a moderate amount of meltdown. And I tried to talk to him and say, hey, don't worry so much about it, because honestly, I know you're worried about the war. Which war? I mean, only the war that his news group cares about. And you're also worried about AI. AI is the only one that matters. It's going to eclipse everything else so fast that just whatever you're stressing about right now, about keeping your business afloat or about international events, are going to be eclipsed by this probably this year. So whatever you're worrying about and you're trying to last minute save, it's not going to end up making a big difference. So I'm not going to tell you to stop doing it, but don't be so hard on yourself. And he just came out with a completely condescending, you could not possibly be more wrong. And, this is just internet discussion. That's not the important part. The thing is, how do you know, Mr. Photographer Pastor? Both really valuable skills. Very good talent. He's great at both of them. But, bro, what the fuck does that have to do with AI? How do you have any inkling that you know what's happening right now, much less what's going to happen next, when that's your resume? that you have this complete certainty that someone else doesn't know. Like, I have published and presented research on artificial intelligence. And I'm not going to say that I know everything, but I will say that this is a cultural thing that we're going to have to start working through. If you're freaking out about AI and you don't have any background or education or training, you're just freaking out to freak out. The honest truth is you completely do not know. This photographer completely does not know. At best, he's echoing what he heard from his favorite news organization's hand-picked AI people. But if you don't actually understand any of this skill yourself, like, you don't know, and there can be a comfort in not knowing. There's at least no point in burning your house to the ground or stressing out your family or ruining your life, you know? Bro, what if we only get another 12 months to live? That is on the table as a possibility, and you're wasting it being mad about stuff that you have no information on. So, hardcore, I'm going to say we need to start learning to get comfortable with things, not freak out of proportion to the amount we know. If you're a big expert, hey, go crazy, freak out a lot. If you know a little bit, freak out a little. If you know nothing, and all your research has been what you've just read online, freak out nothing. Now, what I've been building is, good Lord, trying to get this stable as its whole issue, but not sexy at all. I worked on building image generation for the first time. It'd be neat if I was able to mass generate a whole lot of images for thumbnails, and then I can start getting more into AI training that of, hey, here's the 100 I liked, here's the 200 I hated. I'm not even telling you why. Just start to learn the pattern of what I like and dislike. That would be abhorrently expensive if I was using something like Nano Banana, but if I have my own local engine, it'll be free, so I just let it run overnight. I'm seeing this as a recurring thing emerging, where the amount of things you can get from the next step is going to be the real deciding factor of what you should be working on next. But that was interesting. It taught me a lot about how image generation happens. There's all these modules. And from the outside, it just sounded like nonsense. Like, why do you need more than one thing to make an image? Just make the image. But when I'm linking them together, it's in that captain's chair spot. Because I'm not writing code. They have a nice user interface where you're connecting the different modules you might want to use. And then you see it, you think, realize that, oh, this accomplishes this part, this part, this part. And I might want to add some other things onto it. Some, like your little sniper scope and stuff like that. So that's actually been helpful for understanding this on a deeper level. And I freaking worked on machine learning image processing back in the day. This would be something I would recommend someone to just dabble with, even if you weren't planning on having images in your use case. Yeah. Really good instinctive building on where to iterate and where to just let things go. There's a part where I was wrestling with a lot, and I realized that all that mattered was not the image processing, but the prompt you give it to design the image. And that's easy, but also a completely different area to be wrestling. So try to build that sense. Is this the area that I should be polishing to perfection, or is it not even the right question? Okay, let's get into our first question related to George's topic, talking about how the flattening of the industries might create some new opportunities for them. Cross your fingers this works.
How is AI practically lowering the barrier for you to blend skills across domains like design plus data or writing plus coding?
Well, we're all really familiar with how it's getting flattened for software, because software is loud, it's the topic of the day, and most of our access for information comes through software. So when those people get affected, everybody hears about it, which is also why when software gets affected, it's a big frickin' deal, because it affects all of our information. And you know what builds better AI? Oh shit, that. mostly it's making things move to the command level for every industry. One of my friends is a graphic designer, and the same thing's happening to her, where it's completely different than software. But the requirement to sit there and design something, sketch something out by hand, these really slow, difficult skills that literally put the world up to your face so you lose track of everything else happening, are achievable with AI now. So they have to step back and start thinking, okay, what do we do with this? What is the right thing to design more than how do I actually make that shade of green consistent? And that means that you could just off the shelf go, well, I'm a graphic designer for this afternoon. So for your business, your day job, whatever it is, if something like graphic design is someone you need or helps, you can pull that in yourself on your own today. So start asking the questions about if that would be useful or not. A large number of walls have just been financial. You might think, well, my department, we don't ever use graphic design. That would just be silly. It actually might be a huge benefit. It just wouldn't be worth the cost to pay that person. But now it's free, so it might be a huge untapped opportunity if you get on the first. What does that say? If you get in on it first. Next one.
What hybrid offer could you ship in 30 days if you let AI handle 80% of the glue work and you focus on taste, context, and curation?
What could you, or what could I? And this question wakes me the fuck up. You say concretely ship in 30 days? Jesus, dude, in 30 days, I could make a lot. I've been kicking around making an iPhone app for communications training. And I could make it specifically for, hey, here's this specific stuff for software engineers. We could have a complete niche. I don't know if there's an app like that out there yet. And even if it's only moderately interesting or moderately popular or moderately, useful, 30 days, I could easily build that and just throw it out in the market and see if it works. This is completely redefining the whole entrepreneur principle of do a pre-launch before you actually build the thing. As the effort to build something gets smaller and smaller, it's like, maybe just build it and fucking see what happens. That's the part that I've been grappling with on YouTube, because I'm constantly trying to learn what is the right topic to cover, the right thing to build before I do it. And the thing that no one will tell you is when you're in the beginning and you don't have an audience yet, the only thing you can do is make a lot of random stuff and see, just throw it out and see what happens. So effectively, you could start doing the same things with at least with apps. I'm just going to make 5 of these and see if any of them are popular, instead of, I'm going to have to find 200 people I can interview and get a sense of the common themes and pain points and define it laser focused to what they care about. And then after that, we can refine it.
AI doesn't democratize creativity, it industrializes it, turning most creatives into prompt operators.
Well, this is going to come down to what emotion you want to put on this. Is it killing creators, or is it opening it up to be in charge of the decisions? Are we getting to the creative, high-level, important, soulful things, or are we just mean to the whole beautiful man with a pen? It's both, dude, so AI totally democratizes creativity. And on some level, being a prompt operator is going to be pretty damn creative. It's forcing people to ask other questions that they didn't get to ask. This is exciting and scary, and a really good example of this will be better, but in a way we don't know. We only see the thing we're losing. So we freak out about it, but then when you actually start trying it, a lot of creative will go, this is amazing. They're going to still hate this part. But I love being able to focus on the big idea and the meaning, the passion. I can get into what really I was doing. There's this saying that we have to remember, that constraint is the soul of art. And that's a really contrary idea, but it's true. So you do want to move up to the higher levels of the emotion and the passion and the meaning behind it, but so much of the meaning of art has come from the constriction, where I can only do this, and it takes forever to chisel this one little piece onto the cathedral ceiling. The slowing down makes you think more about it, which makes you think about it in a different way. And I don't know what we're going to do with that, because that part is going to be lost. Will we intentionally cripple ourselves to rebuild that level again? I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to say that first, we have a new realm to explore and build that we haven't done before, and we'll come back to this when it's time. We won't forget about it. We'll merge them together.
As a union machinist, why should I believe AI-enabled hybrid careers won't just mean speed-ups and layoffs on the shop floor?
Well, I don't think there's any way around it, buddy. If you're looking for an option that does not mean speed-ups and layoffs, you're not in the right conversation. Sorry. When I was an AI scientist, I will repeat this. Every conference I went to, we would just talk about how we were going to try and reduce the population, because we wouldn't need that many humans anymore. No one had any question that that was going to be a problem, that we simply weren't going to need most people alive anymore. So we just have to move past that, unless we want to have an entire episode about that issue, because that's like discussing gravity. It's happening, so we're just kind of wasting our breath talking about it. As for the hybrid careers thing, it will happen. Our identities are going to really expand. You might be thinking right now, I am a shop worker. I'm a union machinist. And I am not a creative. I am not a designer. I'm not a software engineer. I am not an executive. Those people, one of those people might be fine, but I'm completely fucked. The reality is AI's biggest change, it's going to soften the walls of our identities, that even if we are very different, and there is a certain amount that you're not ever going to be comfortable with or skilled at what I'm doing, there's going to be a certain step that you are. And AI will allow us to have the most minuscule gradations of this possible. So if you're a machinist, you might have 2% of software engineer come into your work and into your life. It might be 2% that you enjoy. And it's like, hey, if it was a ton, I would hate this, or be stressed about it, or I would struggle with it. But this is kind of neat. You might have 5% of designer in you now. And the truth is, when you became a machinist, when your counselor said, you know what, this would be a good fit for you, your family discussed it, and you said, yeah, that's what I should be, that was the biggest chunk of you. You made a good choice. But that wasn't every part of who you are. There's all these other messy edges that were left out because it doesn't fit perfectly into the shape of any job. Now you'll be able to fill out into all of those. You will become a machinist unlike anyone else because you have a different mix of the things that you can blend in well than anyone else. So try again. Don't stress out about the AI, even if we expect something difficult to happen, so that you can be more able to see the opportunities that it will have, so you can get the good out of it. That's the best way to put it. We all have to pay this price no matter what. And if you're paying the price, don't screw yourself out of getting to enjoy whatever good parts come with it. So keep those eyes open.
If anyone can splice disciplines overnight, what moats beyond taste, trust, and distribution will matter in 5 years, and how will you earn them?
Okay, getting on to the, oh my gosh, if anyone can go into any industry, how do I protect my career? All we're doing is figuring out what to do now, man. You say something like, how will this happen in 5 years, or how will I keep the same career for 5 years? Bro, you won't. That is not on the table, okay? There's going to be such a large number of unimaginable new opportunities that are going to come, and that's what your question's going to be. How do I get into that? How do I do that? How do I handle that? But we can't see that yet, so we can't talk about that yet. The point is, what we're looking at right now, it's going away. You are not going to be able to hang on to this for 5 years. Just start getting that agility ready. Maybe to get at the core of what you are asking, though, if you're worried about moats, you blending into other industries will be your biggest moat. If the ideal thing, here's a metaphor. My buddy was an architect, and when I had some friends from Iran, and when we talked about it, it was a difficult conversation because their definition of architect is different than ours, even though it's the same word. And I found a lot of countries are like that. It's a blend of a couple things that this community decided the blend of these tools is the most effective combination we have. There are more blends that are even more effective than what we're doing right now. And someone else will find it, the blend of what you are and something else. And if you find it first, you're already there.
When you feel out of the loop on AI, what concrete signals tell you it's time to adopt the tool versus ignore the hype?
Oh yeah, AI dread. I'm enjoying building stuff, but bro, yeah, I'm not sleeping much because I am just doing this so freaking much. And the panic that you have to be doing more, and that if you're not doing something, or if you hear something's going on and you're not involved in it, that, oh, this could be my doom. How do you make that call? We're gonna have to get really good at verifying people. Verifying who knows. So the example of that photographer who's just freaking out even though he has no background, no experience. You're going to hear a lot of loud noise from people like him, and you have to learn how to tune that out. And start building a select group of people that you trust, that hopefully you know personally, and then judge based on things like that. Since I'm a software engineer, I have a pretty good sense of when something is, I love my tool versus this will actually get shit done. And you want to filter out the people who are, I love my tool, or, oh, I'm worried about not having this tool, versus the people who are saying, this does that, and here's why it's effective. If you're an entrepreneur like George, you're going to be way ahead of the game on this, because your life and death survival as an entrepreneur is learning to shut up talking about what you want to build and sell and your favorite tools and skills, and focusing on what are the problems someone cares about, what tools could I assemble to collect to solve that, because that's what they care about. This is the thing that I've struggled about for 3 years and finally turned the corner on, but that will help you here as well.
What weekly system will keep you learning high-signal AI skills without burning out filters, mentors, or time-boxed experiments?
You don't want to burn out, right? Yeah, actually, I love this question, but I think the most important thing is to just pause for a second, okay? Not getting burned out is the most important thing you can do to survive the age of AI, all right? It sounds counterintuitive, but creative work, software work, both work I've done, I get so blunted when I am freaked out, when I'm emotional or sleep deprived. And this is a hard thing I'm going to slow down so I can just be more relaxed when I feel I need to rush faster. It is a master skill if you can build it, and I want to get this on your radar as soon as we can. It's taken me a while to build it, and I still struggle with it, but I will tell you flat out. I can be working on building a feature, and there's a problem with it, and we're behind schedule, and I'm freaking out, and I recognize this. I need to go to sleep. I need to take a nap. I need to go take a walk. Go get a burger at a nice restaurant that I enjoy being at. And then I'll come back an hour or two later, and I see what the crap I've been missing. I explain it clearly to my teammate so they actually able to get the answer for me. So many ways the solution comes out, but if I'd spent those 2 hours hurrying because there wasn't enough time, I would have been just where I was before, only 2 hours later. Try this out. Try to find a baby version of this. Try this out so that you can have your emotions go, oh fuck, it worked. Now I actually believe it. I'll take a bigger step next time. But get working on that. Get working on that. As for not burning out your mentors, AI is going to help us. We already don't talk directly. Like, I talk to an AI, and my buddy talks to the AI, and I indirectly get the information from him. Yeah, so that can save you from having to ask people a million questions.
Without an existing audience or brand, you're already too late. AI will entrench incumbents and starve newcomers.
Yeah, I worry about that. This is something that I've really wanted to do, and I've struggled with it for all the skills I've built up. I can have a conversation, and people who are successful at this seem to go, oh man, yeah, Ethan, you know what you're talking about. This was a pretty good idea. Thanks. That even helped me. But I have not gotten this to take off. And I hate the idea that I will never get a chance to, that the wall is just coming down. I'm going to say, let's just keep probing. There'll be new cracks. If nothing else, there's going to be new topics that have never existed before. So you will have plenty of opportunities to be the first person to take on a new niche.
As a rural high school counselor, how do I advise students when junior roles are shrinking and AI moves faster than our curricula?
Oh, goddamn. That's a good question. I think our entire educational system is not going to be fast enough to keep up with this. So if you are committed to helping your students, just going off the grid, or not the grid, but going off the reservation is going to be the most important thing you could do. They're going to need custom answers, individual to them, individual to this week, as much as possible. I would say that the best thing you can do is teach them how to learn. Teach them how to have judgment of what will be effective and what isn't, how to sort out panicked influencers and news organizations whose income just comes from getting your attention, not actually giving you solutions or information, to knowing, okay, here is actually what someone with a solution or some background that seems provable looks like. And don't go credentials. Go by the thing they're actually doing. You can verify the steps they've taken and that it works. That sort of thing. Because it's not like you're taking your students to showing them how to get into a building. You're teaching them how to catch a moving train. So you're going to have to teach them how to find a moving object, recognize it, and take their leap on their moment, which will be different than anyone else's. I like the question.
If no juniors becomes the norm across industries, do we fight for apprenticeships, training tax credits, and platform reforms, or accept a permanent underclass of would-be creators?
I don't know how the entry level is going to happen. This isn't the answer anyone wants to hear. But I think the answer is that we're just never going to need new people to learn skills for the first time. The only complaint I ever hear that's rational is eventually we need to replace the senior people that we do actually need. AI is going to replace them. It's not slowing down. It's not stopped. It's going to, we didn't need entry level. Now we don't need mid. Now we don't need mid-senior. It's going to get to, we don't need senior. We don't need architects. The whole end game that, again, I haven't seen anyone who's actually stood on stage presenting research at a conference disagrees with is we're not going to need humans. We're not going to need them. And the problem with that is you may not have noticed this, but the only reason why almost all of us are alive is because the world needs us. If you're independently wealthy, you're fine. Like you don't need to be needed to live, to have a place in the world. But the rest of us, we're honestly considered in the way, and we take up space on the traffic. We're a nuisance, but the amount of money you make for your employer is more than the amount of money that you make for you, and your employer needs that money, so it all works out. But once there's no more, need for people, like, what do? We just keep 500 billionaires, and I don't know what we do with the rest of the people. This is the question that every AI scientist has been talking about for a long time, and with how well Alan Turing one-shot scopes predicted his stuff from decades in the past, I feel pretty good about the accuracy of what we had in our industry 20 years ago. If you really need to know about this stuff, look into that. I honestly think the real answer is I need to find a better way to end this type of question, because it comes up all the time. But this is just a reality of it, and there isn't much useful we can do about it. The concrete thing, the useful thing, the thing I will tell you, learn how to find survival for the next 12 months. You're not looking to find an answer for the next 5 years. Things will change so much in 12 months that if you can get through that, we'll know what we should do next, what the opportunities are, and if it's something like, I guess we're just gonna go be cave people, being a cave person could be pretty fun. But we'll know then. For now, it's just wasted stressing out. And as I said before, you can't afford to waste your emotional energy blunting your brain when you gotta be keeping your eyes open, seeing what new stuff's happening. So, my recommendation for all of you, plan one thing at a day where you get away from AI, and relax, and sharpen your ideas, your vision of like, what could happen? What will I see when? What will I recognize when I see it? All right. Wrapping up with what I'm going to do next is I am going to, unfortunately, fucking try and fix this automated bot thing again. The connection between my host computer and my remote laptop it's a pain in the ass. Everything is designed where if you have a space in your folder names or the files, everything loses its goddamn mind. And I'm going to make a permanent solution to that. These are the little details that trip up people who build with AI blindly, and then they never even know what level I gotta fix when it comes back. More exciting, I am going to work on... I'm going to try to dip my toe into having AI edit this. I know some people, a lot of people, everybody doesn't care about my rambling in the beginning where I talk about what's new to me. They just want to get into the questions. So the time codes, those are great. You just can go and click on it. But that's something manual I have to do. So I'm not doing it. I'm doing those only on my main videos. So I'm going to add AI to detect that, put that into the description so we have time codes of when I start my questions. Does this require some human AI interaction where I have to say something the same time every episode so it knows? Is it smart enough to just figure it out? Let's fuck around and find out. So this will be interesting. I'm gonna put that in. Maybe I can even get it to automatically edit the front and tail off of this clip for me. Till then, take some calm, keep your eyes open.